Algebra 1. The point for today is that we will learn how to find your do nows, lessons, exit tickets, and homework on Schoology. And then hopefully we'll get to determining the type of slope, positive, negative, zero, or undefined. Okay. As far as Schoology goes, we'll review the following. So we'll review how to find your updates for the class, how to find materials, and then how to find the office hours. And I'll explain what that is as well. So hopefully when you log on to Schoology, it should take you to this page. This is where you find any important announcements. So this is where you hopefully find the information for today. In this section, you'll find anything that you need to, you'll find any update for the class. So whenever if there's any schedule change, you'll find it listed on there. And then you'll always find the link listed on there as well. If you look down here, you'll find this folder, and this is where you can find all your assignments during school closure. So anytime that the school's closed, in this folder, you'll find anything that you need to complete. If you're to click on that folder, you can find that 10-day packet that I gave you guys in person, but you can also find 2 different folders that list the work for today and list the work for our next class, which is on Thursday. And then you can also find your homework for the week. So let's take a look at the folder for today, just so you can kind of be familiar with it. If we click on this folder, you'll see that you have a do now. Do now should usually be done before class, but I know that this is something new. So just try to do it as soon as you can. You'll also find the link to the session under Lesson Algebra 1. And after each session, there is an exit ticket. So your do nows and exit ticket, there's only 2 questions. So they're really quick, really short. You should be able to hopefully complete them in less than 5 minutes each. Now, if we go back to assignments during school closure, like I said, you can find folders for the other days.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Can I ask you the 10-day packet, how do they turn those in?
So that's something we're still trying to figure out. I know there's an option to submit things virtually. So if they take a picture of it, send it to me.
Okay.
But that's something that maybe during one of the office hours, we can maybe give a tutorial on how to do that.
Okay.
All right, so when we're back on this page, on this side, you can see the upcoming events. So what I mean by that is you can see when I'm holding office hours. Office hours are meant to help you. They're meant to give you any support that you need. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns about how to do your math, then you would click on office hours, and then it'll give you a link. So it tells you that the next office hours are tomorrow, Wednesday, April 1st at 2 p.m. So if you have any questions, that's any time for you to come in, ask any questions you might have about your homework assignments or just anything you might have, need help with. If you click on it, it gives you the link to that Zoom for that. So again, if you need help, have questions, go ahead and stop by from 2 to 3 p.m. So hopefully that gives you some idea of how to access everything you need for the course, how to go on Schoology, open the 3 things that you need. As I stated, you need to just know where your updates are, materials, and then office hours. Okay. So we have, I know that this is going to be a pretty quick lesson, but it's something, we're going to work on types of slope. And I know this is some review from what we did previously. So hopefully it's not something completely new. But I would suggest that whenever you do come to class, try to have a notebook in front of you so that you can take some notes. I know that for today, it might be difficult, seeing as that it's our first class, we're trying to figure that out. So this will be posted up on Schoology. So if you want to take notes later on, you definitely can. Or if you just want to look at this presentation, there will be a link for it. All right, so let's get started and talk about types of slope. So we have 4 different types of slope. So again, slope is when we're graphing a line, when we're graphing an equation, our lines look like this. They either look positive, negative, 0, or undefined. So I went a little bit ahead. Our positive slope, that's the example that I had given in class a while ago, where it was we're pretending that someone is snowboarding. And in a positive slope, the person is walking up the hill. Means that it's increasing from left to right. And let me see if my little tool works. Yes, it does. So this means that someone's walking their board up the hill, their snowboard. Okay, that's a positive slope. Then we talked about a negative slope. That is, we always start from left to right. That is that person that's snowboarding down the hill. They're on a negative slope. As we look at the zero slope, there is no movement. So again, if we're using that example of our snowboarder, they're just standing there because they can't move left to right. It's a horizontal line, meaning it's not increasing or decreasing from left to right. And last but not least, we have undefined. The person can't stand anywhere. The line is vertical. It goes up and down, meaning the line does not move from left to right. As we look at our positive slope, again, it's a line that goes up from left to right. We're walking up that board, up that hill. It means our Y values are increasing, meaning they're going up. And our X values are also increasing, meaning they're also going up. Again, the word increasing means meaning we have or more. So if you were to trace a line with your finger from left to right, just like if you were to read a book, the line will go up to the right. If we look at our negative slope means we're going down that hill, or our snowboarder is going down that hill. The line goes down from left to right. Our Y values, so again, our Y values are decreasing this time. Decreasing means down or less. And then your X values are still increasing. So those are still going up. If you were to trace a line with your finger from left to right, the line will go down to the right. Again, that's called a negative slope. Then we have our slope of 0. So this is a horizontal line, meaning the line just goes left to right. The Y values are not changing, but the X values are increasing, meaning they are going up. So anytime the line is horizontal, meaning it's flat from left to right, the slope is 0. So this indicates a situation where there is no change. So again, a line that looks like this, it's flat, it is a slope of 0. And last but not least, we have our undefined slope. So the undefined slope is when the line is vertical, meaning it goes up and down. The Y values are changing, but the X values are not. So your Y values are changing, X values are not changing. So in math, you can't have a 0 denominator. Remember that in fractions, we have 2 numbers. We have a number up top, and we have a number down low. This is our numerator. This is our denominator. Whenever our slope is undefined, our denominator is 0. Okay. So that means that the slope is undefined. It's a vertical line. It goes up and down. Okay. So let's go ahead and practice. So let's look at question number 1. I'll give you guys some time to look at it. Think about it. The question is this a positive slope? A negative slope? Let's remember positive goes this way, negative goes this way. Is it a 0 slope or is it undefined? And undefined is that vertical line, that line that goes up and down. So let's look at number 1. Let me give you guys about 10 seconds to think about it, whether it's positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Okay, so number 1, if we look at the line from left to right, it looks just like the positive slope. So for number 1, we have a positive slope. Now let's go ahead and look at number 2. Again, I'll give you about 10 seconds to look at this blue line. Let me know if it's a positive, a negative, a 0, or undefined. Okay, so for number 2, hopefully based on these, you looked at it, identified the fact that it's going up and down, meaning it's a vertical line. The one that looks most like it is our undefined slope. Number 3, we have our line that goes from left to right. It goes this way. So again, I'll give you a few seconds to determine if the line is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Hopefully you have some time to think about it. If we look at this line going from left to right, it's that snowboarder going down the hill, meaning he's on a negative slope. And last but not least, number 4. Give you about 10 seconds. Okay. If we look at this blue line based on our positive, negative, 0, or undefined slope, this looks most like our 0 slope. Okay. Okay, so we will not be reviewing this today. And that's our lesson for today. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat box, or please send me a message after class and I will definitely answer it. I'll also be available, as I said, during office hours. Presentation. Office hours, again, that's time when you can stop by and ask me any questions. Are held this week on Wednesday, and actually this will be our schedule from now on. Wednesday and Friday at 2 p.m. for any questions that you may have. Now, what are your next steps after class today? You are being asked to complete the do now for today. So that's 2 questions. And those will be just 2 questions asking you about these last 2 weeks, whether you finished the packet and how have you been doing. We have an exit ticket that will ask you a few questions about the presentation today. Again, also 2 questions. Hopefully it should take you no more than 5 minutes. And just do your best you can. If you're not happy with the score that you get the first time, you can always retake it as many times as you want until you get the grade that you're happy with. And then when it comes to our next class is on Thursday, April 2nd at the same time, 8:30 a.m. You're expected to complete the do now for that class, hopefully before class. Again, do the best you can with that. And then I'll give you next steps during that class. But for now, just focus on completing the do now for today, the exit ticket for today, and then by next class, complete the do now for April 2nd. Again, I'm available for any questions you may have. And I believe that is it for today.